my husband always says, I don't understand how you can share a photo of your dinner and make money off of that. How's that possible? I'm like, I don't know. It's because it's a human thing. We all eat, right? We all put our clothes on the same way, you know. But that's the way I think people connect with you. I think it's around a relatable, a touch point that they get.
Well, I think when we're being real too, it builds trust.
Absolutely.
And trust is a necessary condition for selling anybody anything.
Absolutely.
Whether you're selling a point of view or you're selling a product or a service, people have got to trust you.
Yes.
And the more, I think it's like we're going first. You know, we're revealing something of ourselves. We're saying, I trust you with this. And then it's a reciprocal kind of thing.
It's almost a little deeper. They have to know you. They have to have a touch point to know who you are. And then they have to like the person that they've been introduced to. And then that trust factor is, in my opinion, built off of that, again, that connection from a real standpoint, you know? Because sometimes so many people are afraid to share their stories, right? I mean, but the stories, because some people are like, well, I don't have any stories, or I don't know anything, or nobody wants to hear my story. Somebody out there has a very if not the same exact experience, a similar experience.
And they can relate to it.
And they can relate to it.
Okay, so I understand how authenticity would work in building a personal brand. And, you know, I have a personal brand, and so it makes sense.
Yes.
But what about if you're a small business owner and you run a retail store, you have a candle store?
Right.
Or, you know, you have some kind of boutique or something. I mean, how would it work for them to be authentic?
Well, I think, again, people are connecting with people today. So come out from behind that logo first. And, you know, whether it's just one face of the company, you know, whether it's the owner or, you know, whomever, somebody can be the face of the company, or there can actually be multiple faces, you know, in the sense of letting people know who is involved in that company. You know, maybe Carl from customer service, people love him if he comes out from behind the logo and they know who is helping them, right?
So at a practical level, would you encourage those people to use their own photo as their avatar as opposed to their company logo?
I do normally.
I would too.
I do, because it goes back to that connection point. You know, people, I don't know about you, but when I know you haven't necessarily done social media management, but when I was still doing social media management, we would literally be doing work for major brands, and people were asking daily, you know, what's your name? They didn't care about what the brand was. They wanted to know who they were talking to.
Well, I ran an interesting experiment when I was the CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishers. It wasn't intentional, but I started my platform and I got on Twitter. And at the same time, I got the company on Twitter. So we had, you know, the corporate logo, company account, and we had me as the CEO personal account. My Twitter following was 10 to 12 times the size of the corporate one.
Yes, no
because
surprise.
people don't connect with institutions.
Yes, they don't.
Yeah.
And especially,
I think you should still have one.
Yes, I mean you could, absolutely. Or if you have both, you know, where do you actually put your focus and where are people connecting, and then focus there, because, you know, I think again, people absolutely connect with people before they're going to connect with a logo.
Yeah,
That's my take.
I agree.